A very warm welcome as we continue with our sessions on matters self-awareness, matters personal development, matters emotional intelligence. I am Charity Kirigo Kagwaine. It's always a great joy to come to us on this online platform, share some of the insights that I have learned as I journey and as I pilgrim this journey of life. And it's always, just good to get to hear also from you. I particularly want to appreciate every one of you that has been part of this journey in the year 2025 and the years before. And especially those that have reached out to me and we are taking the journey together. A journey of self-discovery, a journey of personal growth, personal development. I look forward to some very great results in the year 2026. And so let's continue journeying on. In this particular video, I want to address ourselves to the topic motivation. Now, the January fever is settled down. Life is normalizing. Reality is beginning to check in for all of us as we try and figure out what the year 2026 will be all about. And there remains 50 and a half weeks to the end of the year. Now, some of the buzzwords as we begin the year are usually resolutions, vision, goals, energy, rhythm, and you can add to that list. But even as you think about that, resolution, as you think about that goal, that vision, as you try and get the rhythm of the year, and of the years that are going to come after 2026, there is one question that we all need to address, which I believe is very, very critical as we take the year. What will keep you motivated throughout the year so that you can meet that resolution, so that you can achieve that goal, so that you can actualize that vision? I wonder how many of us have just taken time to really ask themselves that question. What will keep me motivated throughout the year so that I can achieve my goal? Now, I want us to address three very critical questions in this topic. Question number one. Why is motivation critical when we think about goals, resolutions, vision, and, a direction in life? Number two, why does your motivation run out so fast? Question number three, what is the foundation of your motivation? Question number four, how do you stay motivated throughout the year towards your goals, your resolutions, and your vision? So now let's address the first question. Why is motivation critical? Motivation is the fuel that will keep you going throughout the year so that you are able to achieve the goals, the resolutions, the vision that you've set out for yourself. It is the fuel that is going to keep you running. Let's think of a car, a brand new car. Think of an old car. It's all in good shape, well set, everything in place. But if that car does not have fuel, it will not move an inch. If you have serviced your car very well and you fueled and then you hit the road, the highway, and somewhere, 3/4 way, you forgot to refuel, and somewhere 3/4 way your journey, your fuel runs out. It doesn't matter how good your vehicle is. What will happen is that vehicle will stop. It will stall. And you will either have to get a jerry can, somewhere, go buy some fuel, come and fill up your tank, or somebody will have to just, stall you out. Now, The danger is many of us run the year without enough fuel. Or we run the year with fuel from here, there, everywhere, and maybe nowhere. And therefore what happens is, when you seem to be running out of fuel, when you seem to be running out of motivation, you begin to look for a motivational speaker here, a motivational speaker there. And no offense to motivational speakers. You begin to look for motivation quote there. You even begin to try and, self-motivate in an attempt to keep going so that you can achieve that goal. In an attempt to keep running so that you can meet that resolution, so that that vision that and that thing that you envision can come to fruition. Now, motivational speakers and motivational quotes, they are all very good. And I will tell you why. A motivational speaker will give you the spark. However, you have to get the fuel, you have to start the fire, and you have to keep the fire burning. I want to repeat that again. A motivational speaker does a very good job. They will give you the spark. However, you have to get the fuel, you have to start the fire, and you have to keep the fire burning. So either way, the buck stops with you. Now, I am hoping that by the time I end this session, that if you are in the category where normally you run out of motivation by end of February, you have even forgotten your New Year's resolutions and your goals, I'm hoping that I can convert you from that majority club to the club where you will stay motivated so that you can achieve that goal that you have set out. That brings me to the second question. Why does your motivation fuel run out so fast? For many people, by the time they are ending the month February, they have almost given up on their goals. By March, they have even forgotten what their New Year's resolutions were. So why does that motivation fuel run out so fast? The simple, straight answer to that question is this. You do not have an authentic source of fuel. And I use that word authentic very intentionally. Again, let me return to a car. For those that keep cars, you know that it is a good discipline to identify an authentic source where you fuel. A place where you are sure they will give you clean fuel, good fuel, and a place where you know any time of the day, any time of the night, you can drive in there, you can fuel, and your vehicle will be running right. An authentic source. When you lack an authentic source of fuel, when you lack an authentic source of motivation, what happens is you tend to run on your feelings. You tend to be motivated by a jealousy. You tend to be motivated by shame. You tend to be motivated by guilt. Those are not authentic sources to motivate you towards your goal. Let me give you an example to understand what I am saying. You have decided one of your New Year's resolution is I will quit drinking. Why? Drinking is bad. Bad is relative. What is bad? What is bad to me is not bad to you. What could be bad to one person is not bad to another person. So that's not an authentic reason for wanting to quit. You tell yourself, I want to begin saving money this year. And why is it that you want to start saving money? Well, I think it's a good idea. I have all this money. I get a good paycheck at the end of the month, but I don't save anything. I need to just save up and then I'll figure out what I'll do with the savings. That's not an authentic reason why, you want to save money. It's based on a feeling. It's based on a guilt. It's based on a shame. Or you tell yourself, I want to save up because I want to go on holiday because I saw somebody, one of my friends go on holiday, and, they posted some nice pictures on Facebook, on TikTok, on IG, wherever. And, that is not an authentic source. An authentic reason for wanting to save money. Who tells you they saved up money? Maybe they stole the money. Or maybe they just generated some pictures using AI, and then you think they went on a holiday. So what am I saying? The reason that your motivation fuel runs out so fast is because the reason for that goal, the reason for that resolution, the reason for that vision is not authentic. Now, if you are going to achieve your goal, if you are going to make that resolution, if you are going to actualize that vision, they need to be anchored on something fundamental. And I use those words very intentionally. That resolution, that goal, that vision, if you're going to make it as far as what you have set out is concerned, these things must be anchored on a fundamental thing. Something that is solid, something that is foundational, something that is fundamental. I don't know what other word that I would use to emphasize that, but something that holds the water together. Which then brings me to the third question. What is the foundation of your goal? You need to find the foundation of that goal that you have set. You need to find the foundation of that resolution, that vision that you have set. Now, unfortunately, many of us are building on foundations that are either broken, that are disfigured, that are messed up because of some of the things we have either done or some of the experiences that we had, in the past. And so our foundations, those foundations, many of them are shaky. You try and build and it just can't hold because it's shaky, it's broken, it's disfigured, it's messed up, it's deformed. It's all, the words that are, that cause things not to hold together. Now, if your foundation is messed up, then you will have to rebuild that foundation. But if you have set out the foundation, then you will have to find the foundation. And I will use 2 examples to help us understand what I am exactly saying. Let's say, for example, you have decided that you want to save money. Before you begin to save, ask yourself some very powerful and critical questions. For example, why do I want to save money? And an answer could be, I want to buy a parcel of land. Good. Why do I want to buy a parcel of land? An answer would be, I want to build a house. Why do I want to build a house? And they look like very simple questions, but they're very powerful. Why do I want to build a house? I want to build a house so that I can live in it so that I can stop paying rent. Okay, good idea. Why do you want to stop paying rent? And you tell yourself, well, then maybe I can use that money to do something else. Good, now we're getting closer. So what is it that you're going to do with that money after that? Or what value will that money be when you stop paying rent? These are questions that you must ask yourself. We are trying to find the foundation, the reason why, the fundamental something as to why you have decided that you want to begin to save up money this year. And so you tell yourself, okay, I think I want to be financially free. Now we are beginning to talk. That means when you imagine yourself as being financially free, where your money is not going to somebody else and, it's going at the end of every month, you're parting with, say, 100,000 Kenyan shillings or some couple of US dollars to be able to, pay your rent. When you imagine or when you see yourself in that place of financial freedom, what will happen is, because it's a truth, because it's something fundamental and it's something that is foundational, it's something that's solid, it's something that it's a cause, it's a cause worth running for and towards. What will happen is, every time you're about to buy that extra mandazi, every time that you want to buy that extra dress which you don't need, but you feel that you want to buy it so that if next time you go to this and this party, you dress to kill. Or every time you think of buying that extra gum, then you think twice and you tell yourself, no, I want to be financially free. So what I will do, I will set aside this money into a kitty, into a fund where it can compound, or I can put it into a circle where I can get a loan, then buy my land, build my house, and then I will stop paying rent, and then I will be financially free. Good reason as to why you're saving money. Another reason why you could be saving money, maybe you tell yourself, I want to buy land, I want to build rentals, because at the end of the day, I will collect some rent, and that means I will have more income. That means I will be enjoying financial freedom, and that means I will be enjoying my life as an investor. That's a solid reason as to why you're saving money. Find the foundation of your goal. Financial freedom is the ultimate. Therefore, you will be willing to pay the price to save that money so that ultimately you can become financially free. Let me give you another example, something more relational, up close, personal. You are battling with self-confidence, and you tell yourself, this year, one of my resolutions is to build my self-confidence. So then you ask yourself some very critical questions. Why don't I have self-confidence? One of the reasons why you may not have self-confidence is because you have a low self-image. Why do you have a low self-image? I'm fat. I'm thin. My family doesn't like me. I have this trauma that I'm dealing with and I haven't dealt with. I have this issue that I have refused to deal with because, I'm ashamed about it. And then you ask yourself, so what is it going to take for me to deal with this trauma so that I can have a better self-image of myself, so that I can have self-confidence? And you tell yourself, I will go and see a counselor, a therapist, a coach, whatever it will take. Why? Because at the end of the day, I want to be a healthy human being. That's even more foundational. That's a better truth. That's something that is worth working towards. I want to be a healthy human being who enjoys life like everybody else. And then I'm going to tell you what. When you are a healthy human being, full of life, self-confidence is an outcome of that being healthy. Self-confidence doesn't just grow on a tree. It doesn't just happen. It comes from a place of having a healthy self-image, and that healthy self-image comes from a place where you are living a life that is full, where you are a human being that is healthy, that is joyful, that is peaceful, that is working. Things are going well. Not perfect, but well. Not perfect, I repeat, but well. Now, when you understand that self-confidence is a product of being a healthy human being internally, a healthy self-image, then you will not be working towards, building self-confidence. You will be working towards being a healthy human being. And then automatically, you will have self-confidence. And therefore, that brings me to my fourth and final question. How do I stay motivated throughout the year towards my goal? How do I stay motivated throughout the year towards my vision, towards my resolutions? The answer is very simple. Be clear about the foundation upon which you have set that goal. Be clear about the foundation that you have set, upon which you have set that resolution. Be very clear about the foundation upon which you have set your vision. Let it be clean, let it be clear. I want financial freedom. And because I want financial freedom, I will begin to save, and I will put that money into a fund where it can compound. I will put that money into a circle where I can get a loan, and then I can go on to build what I need to build. So ultimately, I can become financially free. I want a healthy life, and therefore, I am willing to pay the price of building a healthy self-image. I will go to that therapist. I will go to that coach. I will lose that weight. I will, make, healthy relationships with my family. I will be intentional about building, healthy relationships with my family, because ultimately I want a healthy self-image, and automatically I will have self-confidence. And you can use the same formula for any of the resolutions that you have, big or small. Go on into the year. Build the foundation. Get the fuel that is going to help you run throughout the year. Write it down somewhere so that every time you see it and life brings you, the negativity, because that is just life. When life brings you the negativity, then you will see the foundation of your motivation. You will see the foundation of that vision. You will see the foundation of that resolution, and it will become the motivation fuel that will keep you running throughout the year. And come the end of the year 2026, we'll be here to hear some great testimonials on what you have achieved. Now you know